Well, this chapter marks the beginning of the 36th volume, and man, I tell you that, where has the time gone? Time flies when you're having fun. This much fun, at least.
337th chapter of One Piece this is. Protectors of the City of Water, we meet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and mind-boggling and thrill-a-minute tale of One Piece. Man, I tell you, the last chapter saw us finishing off Volume 35, and we're diving headlong here into Volume 36. And I tell you, it was at the end of the volume, it left off perfectly. You had Luffy and Franky fighting, squaring off against each other, kind of destroying Dock 1 of the Galley Company. And then you had the Galley foreman, the 5 foremen, Lucci and Tilestone and Lulu and the whole gang coming out to, and what was it, Paulie and Kaku. And, all coming out and, wanting Luffy's head for what they presume that him and his Straw Hat crew did with the attempted murder on the mayor, Mr. Iceberg. So, way to leave things off, man. And I tell you, this cover is kind of cool looking. This is probably one of the better looking ones that I've seen. It's just drawn well. It's colored well. I think the colors really helped to accentuate it. You got Robin over here with some kind of goofy-ass cloak on or something like that. So, I don't know what's going on with her. But at the end of the chapter, we wind up seeing her briefly again. And some of these characters, although we haven't been introduced to them yet, are pretty cool. I did notice when I opened it up, though, that on the inside sleeve here, it's called the Ninth Justice. So I'm not sure if maybe Luffy and the Straw Hats wind up getting rounded up and going to some kind of like crazy trial or something like that. Because you got to remember that now they've pretty much got everybody against them, because of the presumed attempted murder of the mayor, the beloved mayor of Water 7. So very, very cool stuff, man. I tell you, just love it. This chapter, though, for all intents and purposes, is really just it's really just an action slaughterfest as far as, I shouldn't say slaughterfest, but it's showcasing the strengths, the talents, some of the special moves that all the dock workers can use, because these guys are standing there, 5 wide, and they're about to get into it, and even Franky's like, yeah, what are you guys over here messing with this and that, don't this is my deal, and so then they go and they're like, listen, you guys are destroying, you guys are just wiping out our place over here on our front doorstep. So it is our business. Not to mention they're here for the other reason. That reason doesn't even come out for probably half the chapter, It's the plot device of, okay, we can fight because of lack of communication. And that's really what it is. They don't communicate to Luffy why they're pissed off and they're upset. They're like, you should know, because they just presume that it's him and his crew that's done that. And Luffy's just like taken aback, like, what the hell? I don't have any quarrel with you guys, And we see Paulie do some of his cool moves with his obviously he's the mast and rigging foreman, and does some cool shit with his ropes and knots and everything else, man. Dude is really, really cool with that stuff. And some of the moves that he uses are great. We see Lulu? We see him go and pull out this cool, like old-time looking double barrel. It almost looks like this like revolver, sawed-off shotgun or something like that he uses. Nonetheless, though, this chapter though pretty much was Luffy getting his ass pummeled. He winds up, the dock foremen start attacking him, And Luffy's like, I have no idea what's going on while he's getting attacked. And he's very much of like, hey, listen, I don't have a quarrel with you. I don't have a fight with you. There's no reason for me to fight you. So at first he's just kind of like just taking it, and just sort of trying to see like, why are these guys angry at me? And then Franky goes and he's like, you know what? Screw that, man. I told you guys this kid is mine. He messed up my people. He messed up my house. So he comes in and starts hitting and starts attacking the foreman, right? So you got just basically like this crazed ass like WrestleMania WWE pay-per-view event. And that's really what it reminds me of. And I think about that. My wife and I actually used to watch back when it was WWF, back 14, 15 years ago, before our first son was born. And so we loved watching our soap operas, and that's what they were, fighting soap operas with fights. And but that's what it reminds me of, mainly because Franky, he's in that Speedo and these tights, man, and he just reminds me of. He reminds me of one of those like older dudes that you see like at the beach or something like that, or that lives down in Florida, where like his the skin's kind of real. He's been tanning too much. Skin's real like leathery and shit, But they got like their hair all slicked and greased wherever, greased back, greased the side, whatever. And then, you know, and he's sitting there, but then the dude, he, like, works out, like, you know, 9 days a week, you know what I mean? He works out, like, in his sleep even, so the dude's all, like, ripped and looks like he's got baby oil all over him walking around, but he's, like, old as fuck, you know? Franky doesn't look like he's old, but it just reminds me of that type of thing that you would see, that old man type deal, because a lot of times you see those dudes and it's like, why are you wearing, like, a Speedo or some sort of very revealing... very tight swimsuit, you know? It's like, dude, you're like, you know, 50. Like, you shouldn't be doing that, you know? So, but nonetheless, so that's getting off the beaten path. I think it's just Franky, his look. It's to me, it's real comical. It's kind of like a cross between like a wrestler and like that dude at the beach that's walking around like with his Hawaiian shirt open, just kind of like, hey, how you doing? You know, the beach is that way, you know, making muscles and shit for all the hot chicks. But like I said, the whole purpose of this chapter, it seems like, is really to showcase, to really kind of get this huge, like, just fight fest going on. Towards the end of the chapter, some of the, because there's a bunch of civilians that are around that have gathered, you know, and they're cheering on, of course, the Galley Law Company. And one of them actually grabs Nami, too, you know. They're grabbing her, the mob kind of grabs her, because they're like, hey, we saw you with him and this and that, you know. So I don't know how things are going to work out here, because the chapter, at least that portion of the chapter, ends off with, you know, Luffy, of course, being outnumbered and overmatched with things. And I don't know if it's like him and Franky are temporarily going to work to team up to take these guys out so they can get away and then settle their quarrel, you know, the enemy of my enemy or type of deal. I have no idea. All I know is the shit has hit the fan, you know, as far as just the action stuff. The last pages of the chapter, or the last page, I should say, is the Galley Law, the Water 7 newspaper, whatever. And it's kind of cool because once they eventually come out and they tell Luffy why they're fighting him, and you tried to do this, you tried to do that, and you know, and your crew member Nico Robin did, Luffy goes, he's like, what are you talking about? This must be some kind of mistake. Just let me see the ice guy. And we can talk about this, you know. And they're, of course, they don't want to do that. They're going to kill him and this and that. But, I mean, he even goes and flips out at this one point. And he's like, you don't even know Robin. Stop telling lies about her. You know, and he's yelling over there. However, when you get to the last page of the chapter, though, right, you got Paulie over here all just, like, looking like Wolverine, chomping on a cigar and shit. You know, he's like, we're going to kill the whole lot of you. Or maybe it's Smoker. He's got a similar look to Smoker, too, I guess. So they're obviously going to do that. But then you get this thing. The Straw Hat Pirates were behind the attack on the mayor, and I presume that this is something that either is being read in the paper or it's being broadcast out over the, you know, like just over the airwaves and whatnot, or the radio. So the Water newspaper company will pay any witnesses who have information about the pirates. The criminals are here on this island. Find all the Straw Hat pilots and hang every last... Pirates, and hang every last one of them. God, if I could read and talk, you know. It's... Anyway, sometimes I feel like I had a mild seizure. But it's okay. They're just mild. I just sort of get right out of it and I'm good to go. But then you go and you see the person that's just kind of sitting up on this balcony over here, overlooking some things, is Nico Robin. Now, I don't know what the deal is with this, okay? She's been gone for 8 or 10 chapters now, since the beginning of Water 7. I was just really starting to like her, / fall in love with her, / have dreams about her. And, you know, but the point being is that, man, I tell you, what a cool tale, though, because I don't know what to feel. I don't know if she's bad, if she's gone back to her ways. I don't know if she was playing the Straw Hats the whole time. I mean, that's obviously what you're meant to think. I don't know if she's in some kind of trouble. She didn't look like she was under any type of trouble. She doesn't look like she's any type of prisoner or was kidnapped or anything like that. I don't know if she owed somebody a favor. I don't know if she had something plotted or planned out to begin with, or she got there and then realized. You know, and there's a lot going on too, because Mr. Iceberg keeps going and referring to this something that he has that the government wants. He thinks the Straw Hats tried to kill him because they wanted it. You know, there's this CP9. I don't know who the hell CP9 is. Man, good stuff though. My chapter question for you, though, brothers and sisters, is really, I guess, what are your thoughts on the Galley Law foreman, the Fabulous Five over there? These guys seem like a good, formidable bunch, and obviously seem like they know each other, they work well together, they've all got some straight up really cool strengths and powers that we saw. But really, I guess, what were your thoughts on just kind of the whole mosh pit of brutality and fighting that was going on in here, you know? As you got Franky and Luffy squaring off against each other, and then when the Galley Law Company steps in, Franky's like, those are my guys, and he's attacking them. You know, and Luffy's just like, whoa, hold on a sec, what's going on? You know, hold the phone. And then when they do tell him, he's like, bullshit, nobody tried to hurt anybody, you know. So, but I know the Straw Hats are not doing very well here. They're broken, they're divided. I mean, Robin's gone, Usopp's gone. You know, it's not looking good, man. I mean, Luffy and Nami are looking like they're maybe going to be captured or something like that. Man, I'm looking forward to diving into this, though. But let me know what your thoughts are, brothers and sisters, in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it. Or subscribe, you know, of course, if you haven't done so already. And we look forward to catching all of you, and you, in the next Von Nation.
My God, look at those breasts. Well, anyway, no, sorry. Focus. Please subscribe to my other channel, as well as following me on the Twitter and the Facebook.